Thursday with sunshine, high 74. For Redlands this morning, skies will be clear with a sunny afternoon, the high 88. And for the desert cities, sunny skies this morning and through the day with temperatures around 90. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. It's good to have you with us. It's another week. What will it bring for all of us? Obviously, a lot of people looking at the fall season and a lot of questions, of course, in what's going to happen next, right? Are we going to be happy? Are we going to be shopping? Are we going to be cold? I'm not going to lie, Jesse, this weather has been a little unexpected as of late. It's been pretty warm. It's a warming trend, right?
Yeah, it has been a bit warm. You know what? Yeah, it's been cooling down though, just a bit, just not as fast as I would like.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, what's going on exactly? But there you go. Okay, lots of stories in the news. How did you spend your weekend? We want to know as well. We love to hear from our social media audience. I'm pulling up the feed right now. If you're not following us on any of the devices, I recommend that you do right here, right now. And I recommend this because if you do, you get to participate in our chat with our social media audience. And I love chatting with our social media audience because it's always fresh, it's always new, and we get the perspective of everyone else as well, not just our own. And I think that's what kind of creates for a better, more lively discussion. Right, Jesse?
Oh, most definitely. I enjoy talking to other people, and you know what? I learned that we might not see eye to eye on a lot of things, but you know what? It's okay.
Yeah, that's exactly my viewpoint. I mean, even if we don't see eye to eye, at least we talk and we say, okay, well, what do you think? What do I think? What do you think? What do I think? And let's meet in the middle. That's what I always say.
Exactly.
Lots of things meeting in the middle, including this. Obviously, a lot of questions as to the latest. And I don't know how many people here, maybe as a show of hands, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy? I'm just going to start it off with that because I think sometimes there's so much bad news. I want to talk about good news. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Which was your favorite, Jesse?
I enjoyed the first one a lot, mainly because I love the Volume One soundtrack.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There's nothing like it, right?
Yeah, you know what? I was listening to it yesterday, and I was just vibing to it, and I enjoy just the original story of just the Guardians meeting up.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. It's a good idea. Now, in the last one, I will say this. I wasn't a big fan of Ego, right? Ego was kind of one of those played by Kurt Russell, which again, great job, he did, right? But it introduced something that I thought was kind of interesting and an interesting character, obviously. And it was quick and fast. And then if you know the whole movie, and if you haven't caught up on it, I say get caught up on it now. I still meet people now that I'm like, you haven't seen that? How could you have not seen that? But Jesse, quick question: when it comes to Stallone, how cool is it to have him in the franchise?
Oh man, yeah, it's cool. Let's just say it's cool to have Stallone in your franchise. He was in Suicide Squad. I don't know if people know this.
I did not know that.
What? Yeah, no, he played as King Shark. He voiced King Shark.
He voiced it?
Yeah,
Oh, I heard. I still gotta see that.
yeah. If you get a chance to watch it, yeah. But yeah, no, Stallone's such a great actor. I love him and everything he does.
Well, he's really busy, as of late, and he's very, very active on his Instagram, which I say, good job, right? A lot of people aren't always as active on their things as they should be, in my opinion. But I feel that you all need to be more active on Instagram, especially if you're a celebrity, because I see so many that do exactly the opposite, right? They stay off of social media and then people pretend to be them. I don't know how many different accounts I see that are of other actors or actresses, and I go, don't you want to kind of like own that instead of somebody else, ruling your life and posting things without your knowledge? Because what if like fans reach out and they think it's the real person? You know what I mean?
Right? And if you have like some type of entertainment company or a bunch of people just controlling your social media,
Yeah,
yeah, I would find that disingenuous.
yeah, exactly. He teased Sly Stallone, and I'm trying to find it on his official account. I'm not gonna lie, but evidently somebody captured it, and they did so that we can all see it. So on his Instagram account, he actually teases the new, wait for it, costume. Yeah. So here it is in all its glory, of his official Sly Stallone. Thinking, trying to bring it up here. It's a little bit difficult. Um, oh man, hold on. No. Oh well. Okay, I'm trying to bring it up on the wrong one. Sorry, guys. But okay. Well, first of all, his character. What is his character, Jesse?
Ooh, I think his name is Starhawk, and he is in the movies. He is the leader of the Ravagers,
Mm-hmm.
and him and his original crew, they kind of have their own little thing going. So at the end of Guardians 2, I remember at the end credit scene where him and his old crew get together after that tragedy I don't want to mention in the movie because it hurt. We all know what happened to Mary Poppins, right?
Oh God, don't remind me.
So, yeah, if you remember at the end of the movie, him and his crew got together. So, I believe someone mentioned to me, I don't know too much about the original Guardians, but someone said that that crew was the original Guardians of the Galaxies in the comic book.
Really?
Y-
Oh.
So I never dug into it, so I'd have to read more into it. So it's interesting. So I can't wait to see what comes out in volume 3.
Well, Stallone wrote on Instagram to accompany the image on our live feed right there. Yes, what's coming your way. Keep your guard up. The new costume keeps the shoulder accents from the previous version, but rather than black, Stallone looks to be sporting a bold blue costume. Stallone appeared in 2018's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as Stakar Ogord, a top member of the Ravagers. Stakar is based on Marvel Comics Starhawk. Oh, I did not know that. That's good to know. Who was created by Steve Gerber and Sal Buscema and debuted in 1975 as the Defenders number 27, though Stallone has hinted as to Carr's return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's only recently fans learned he'd actually be involved in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So he said, here I am on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy. This is what they do beforehand. This is very sensitive equipment that films every expression you could possibly have that can be duplicated if you're not around. Stallone is one of several familiar faces returning for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Most fans are fixated, of course, on Will Warlock. That's the one that you're talking about, which is an interesting nod. I saw again, oddly enough, Jesse. I didn't think I was going to see it, but I saw once more the second time Eternals. So I was trying to figure out the guy at the end again, Adam Warlock, right?
Oh, no. Adam Warlock. Do you talk about the guy at the end credit scene?
Yeah.
Eros. That would be somebody's brother. Those are two different characters.
No, I was thinking
If
about the guy at the end. That's supposed to be with like Blade.
Yeah, no, that's not Adam Warlock.
Oh, then I'm completely confused. Anyway,
The first time they mentioned Adam Warlock is actually in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. At the end credit scene when the main villain, I don't remember her. No, she's not even a villain. She's just an annoying character.
oh, I'm okay. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, they introduced like this giant cocoon
You're talking about
looking.
the Golden Girl, the
Yes,
little, the ungrateful lady who wanted to chase them down and hurt them using other people's machines, right?
yes.
those
It,
guys are, those guys. Seriously, I'd be like, you have such an attitude. I could see Record just completely. I'm just gonna take all your stuff and run with it, okay? It's just
yeah, they introduce she introduces Adam in she just mentions his name and stuff like that. So there are so many characters. It's easy to get them confused because their names sound so similar.
Yeah. A version of this cocoon was included as an Easter egg in Thor: The Dark World and the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I did not know that. So there you go. You got to look at all that stuff, and then you got to figure it out. and then you got to really understand the rest. So I don't know, interesting stuff, especially with the Eternals. Eternals kind of brings it back to like the beginning or the founding of the world and how all that ties in. So I think it's interesting. I think it's one of the things where I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of that. All right. But going to our social media audience, Stephanie Reed says, hello, happy editing this glorious chilly windy and had a dusty snow and fall feeling foliage for today's awesome busy day. She's tuning in from Cleveland, Ohio, which she always does. Great job, Stephanie. Patricia Summer says, a great weekend. Hey, everyone. Great day, people. Oh, I like this positivity. Anthony Estrada says, hello, Guy. Good day. Good day to you, Anthony. Here's one we haven't seen in a while. And Maria, she's probably really busy over in Canada, as we know, as a nurse fighting the fight of coronavirus and just other horrible things out there. Says, good morning, everyone. And hope all is well. I miss this so much. Watching live like this. We miss you too, Maria. So glad to have you back and glad to have you as part of our show. So lots of stories. We're going to regroup just after a few. When we come back, we got more. What's going on around the world? We'll talk about that next in just a few. Be right back.
Therapist and life coach for the past 30 years, and I'm the originator of the awareness integration therapy. I'd love to be able to support you in any matters of life that shows up for you that you need support. So call me at 818-648-2140. I am available to do online therapy or coaching, anyone who's around the world. And you can also join me in my office in San Clemente, California, if you like to come to the office. So call me at 818-648-2140 or go to fujon.com. I look forward to hearing from you and having the opportunity to support you in things that are in your life and you just want to excel and create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Join Yvette Walker every Tuesday at 4 o'clock p.m. on KMET ABC News Radio, 1490 AM, FM 98.1, and Internet KMET TV for the Southern California Business Report. The show is dedicated to highlighting successful businesses and the individuals behind them. Yvette interviews the incredible people managing these enterprises that range from awe-inspiring sole proprietors to world-renowned organizations. The Southern California Business Report, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock p.m.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Hello, listeners. This is Christopher from The Christopher Show. Hey, if you miss one of our shows here at KMET, don't worry about it. You can go to our webpage, and that's KMET1490am.com. Go to the homepage, click on the SoundCloud tab, and hear any show anytime you want.
Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. Maria says this, 2023, grrr. Let's see, actor Will Poulter will play Adam Warlock in the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which is slated to arrive in theaters on May 5th, 2023. Thank you for that update. Good to know that as well. And again, there's always good to have some fun when it comes to all of these things, especially in the Marvel Universe. which I'm happy to say at Disneyland, they have the whole area ready for you to experience Marvel and then some. I remember when they were actually building that, which is in California Adventure, which is, of course, the opposite place of where Disneyland's at, where they actually allow for alcohol and beer, right? One of the first ones. You didn't know that, Jesse?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
So
they've done that for a long time. It's for the adults, that's why. Because they have like a winery, like a mini winery there, which actually has really good Italian food. But people don't overdrink there. I don't think they give a lot there, which you would think like, people get a little drunk there. But sometimes people just go, they relax, they haven't all passed. And I'm not going to lie, it does get a little pricey, especially with coronavirus because, they can only allow so many people in there now. But there you go. Stephanie Reed. Oh, no. Pray for Stephanie. She says she has a root canal tomorrow for an abscessed tooth. That is no fun. I'm going to tell you right now. I just took my mom last week to the dentist, and there's no fun going to the dentist. It's just no. When they can make it fun, then I say yay, right? Like I have a dentist which actually puts on headphones like while they work on your teeth and they put Netflix on. And I'm like, I want that because I want to get distracted. You know what I mean, Jesse? When you gotta like lay there and go, right in your mouth, you're like, oh God, I don't want to see it. So there you go. That's how I feel about that. When's the last time you've been to the dentist, Jesse?
A few months before COVID struck, all the COVID madness struck. So yeah, it's been a while. I'll probably have to go back for a routine cleaning, but yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Yeah, I will say I've gone for quite some time, actually all the way back to, last year when they actually helped us out. Dr. Kashani and his team there do a great job with my mom. I actually go out of my way to go see him. If you're in the LA area, Encino is where it's at. The dental lasting impressions dental spa. Okay, I'll post about it perhaps another time. And if you want to have a really good team take care of your teeth and then some, you gotta check it out. It's in Encino. I actually made my mom go from a local dentist to Dr. Kashani over in Encino, and she loves it. It's hard when you don't have transportation, which I didn't have for some time, but now I know she fixes herself up to go, I'm gonna go see the team at Dr. Kashani's office, and they do a great job. I've referred everybody to them, and I never hear anything bad. They do great cleanings, and maybe who knows, maybe they'll have a promotion for us that we could promote around the corner. I should check that out and see if they want to help us out. But there you go. So be careful out there in Ohio. I know sometimes you got to be careful with dentistry that you go with. And as long as you go with a really good one and they are sanitary and they take care of their employees, which I can tell you this one does, you can do so. Patricia Summer says, yep, I have to go. Broken tooth. Oh, yeah. Patricia, here's what I'm going to tell you right now. I had a broken tooth for a long time, all right? It was like half broken. And I bit down on this protein bar, probably the last protein bar I'll ever eat again, that did that to me. And I was like, oh, no. And I let it go. And I let it go for, I want to say, like 2 or 3 years. And then finally the other part decayed and fell out. And I'm like, oh, crikey. But it only halfway fell out. Because you got to get that taken care of. Because the worst thing you might get, and I remember meeting with somebody at this event, and I think the lady was telling me, said that it got, like, the bacteria could get up and into your brain and cause even more problems. So you got to take care of those things because nobody thinks about, what can go up your, and then I heard like 3 other people talk about that as well. Nobody ever talks about what can go. You're welcome, Jesse. Now you know. If you ever have like an opening, that leads right up into up and in. Like it's weird how your body works. You're like, no, it's just my gums. And yeah, bacteria can spread through the brain and then some. And that's a worst case scenario. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that eventually got to my head. I go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. And I finally did. I was not a happy camper, but at the end of it, we got it done. So just, there you go. Patricia Summer says, yep, halfway here too. Yeah, see, so yeah, it's no fun. Maria says, had it happen before, a smack on my legs. Not nice, I tell you. Well, I'm not going to say that word because
yeah, we were talking about like if you're drinking, like if you have a bunch of drunks at Disneyland drinking, and they go through like a roller coaster and someone gets a little.
Oh, she's talking about that. I got it midway. Okay, I didn't get that. Keep
Can you
keep
just
going.
can you just imagine it flying everywhere as it? Yeah, no, that's gross.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah, Patricia says people do die from issues with teeth. They do actually, and people don't always know that, and they're like, "Well, how did that happen?" So take care of your dentistry. I took care of mine. They sewed it up, and and then they grafted it. I don't even know what that means, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna prepare for another tooth," but then they didn't tell me the other tooth's gonna be like $4,000. I'm like, ah. So it is expensive taking care of your teeth, people. Take care of them ahead of time. Teach your children at a very early age, and they'll be ahead of it. Okay, do that, and you'll be happier for it. All right, here's latest news, which we all unfortunately need to talk about. I always keep saying I don't want to talk about, but here it is. The U.S. daily case average has jumped 23% when it comes down to coronavirus. That's number one. It's jumped. Okay, so that means don't be all not cautious at all. The daily case average stands at 78,500 in just the last 2.5 weeks. That's according to federal data. 21 states have seen an uptick in daily cases. Okay. Thankfully, that's not here in California, which just happens to be where I'm at. But where you all are at, it is. Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Massachusetts, Michigan, all the cold areas, by the way. Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. Now, what I will say is this: whatever usually happens to the rest of the U.S. usually has a way of making its way over to us. We're just usually like maybe third in line, right? Last week marked the first national increase in hospitalizations in nearly 10 weeks. There are now more than 47,000 patients with COVID-19 in hospitals, which is up by about 2,000 patients since last Monday. Now, that's according to federal data. Now, what can we see in the next coming weeks? I can almost guarantee more of a tightening of certain restrictions, especially in some of these areas. Because, again, you have to understand when it comes to the hospitals, they only have so many ICU beds. They only have so much staff, especially now that New York has taken, like, their little stance of, well, if you don't get it, then this happens. And I've seen some countries that actually have gone next level and locked down those that now are not vaccinated at all. That's not happening here in the U.S., but I did see that happen in another country, and I said, oh, no, this is not good. So the question is, will it happen here? I don't believe it will, but you never know, right, Jesse?
What country is that happening in?
You would call me out on that. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see.
Curious. Like, what country is in lockdown? I'm just curious.
For the unvaccinated, hold on. Let me look it up. Here it is. Austria. See, I know how to look things up. Austria, is introducing a lockdown for the unvaccinated. Okay, so this is world news. Okay, now do I agree with it? I don't agree with it. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid, and I think again the vaccination helps you along, but it's not an end all cure all be all thing, right? But 2 million people who have not been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 have been placed in lockdown in Austria. How do you prove that, right? And now, like, are people going to retaliate for that? Right? Well, I'm not vaccinated. It's almost like, remember the mutants, when mutants wouldn't get like tagged back in the day of, Marvel Universe, and then they ended up getting like, kind of upset, and then others are like, no, do it. People are they going to be like that? Chancellor Alexander Schallenberg says, we are not taking this step lightly, but unfortunately it is necessary. Okay, well, let's see. Unvaccinated people will only be allowed to leave home for limited reasons, like working or buying food. That's a weird lockdown, Jesse. The fact that they could still work or buy food, I don't understand it. Do you?
Yeah, of course. COVID doesn't strike when you're going for food or going to work. Isn't it obvious?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hello, stupidity. Let's welcome you in our house. 65% of Austria's population is fully vaccinated, one of the lowest rates in Western Europe. Meanwhile, the 7-day infection rate is more than 800 cases per 100,000 people, which is one of the highest in the region. Okay, I get that. I understand it. They're freaking out over there. Overall, Europe has again become the area most seriously affected by the pandemic, and several countries are introducing restrictions and warning of rising cases. I guarantee you, Jesse, people are going to make a buttload of those fake IDs, being like, I got vaccinated, right? The UK, which was one of the highest COVID infection rates, has yet to reintroduce restrictions despite health leaders calling for rules like mandatory face coverings in crowded and enclosed spaces to be brought back to avoid a winter crisis. Now, I'm not going to lie, winter crises do happen, and we're probably going to see a pretty big surge, especially around the third week, let's see, where are we, of Well, anywhere from, let's see, probably of December, actually, because what we're going to see is a lot of parties happening, a lot of family get-togethers, and a lot of things which will happen really quick and really fast. So I see them trying to get ahead of this, but let's see. The measures introduced today come amid growing pressure on the nation's hospitals. There it is. Okay, which will initially last for 10 days. Children under the age of 12 and people who have recently recovered from the virus will be exempt. I don't get that because they get sick too. So I'm kind of not on this Austria plan. But over the weekend, hundreds of people protested outside the chancellery. Yep, guaranteed. Of Vienna, waving banners that read, "Our bodies, our freedom to decide." Yep, it's going to go next level, Jesse. There it is, Austria. One female protester said she was demonstrating to fight for my rights, which we all have. These are not foolproof vaccines, okay? Things can and do happen. Take Moderna, for example. The one-shot, two-shot, I don't know how many people felt really sick 3-4 days later. And side effects later? Yeah, those things are coming out. It says it's totally discriminatory what is happening here. I wouldn't call it discriminatory. I would call it basically unwilling to yield due to science being the end-all, be-all, when in reality it's no for sure cure. And there's so many different versions, right? And then there's so many different mutant variants of this virus that how do you know it will help you not get the said variant, right? Like Delta or Lambda or Mu or 3 others that are coming out in that district. Professor Eva Schernhammer of the Medical University of Vienna said the measures were needed, warning that hospital intensive care units were filling up. Like, I understand that, actually. But again, even if you have the vaccine, it doesn't mean you're not going to die from it. She says it's already projected that within 2 weeks we'll have reached the limit. Okay, so they're doing extraordinary demands on the people that honestly want to be safe anyway, but are saying, I am holding out till you guys get it right with the vaccination. I get that. I understand it. It's not an inoculation. Inoculation is completely different, right, Jesse? That's when you come to a country and you have to get inoculated due to like polio or what are some of the other ones that they have? There's a few, right?
I have no idea. I've never visited another country, so I am not sure about the process.
Yeah, it's an inoculation is completely different, but that's usually more of a cure than not because you've had a chance to kind of figure that out, and that's usually like 8 years worth of science so that they get it so that it doesn't create problems in people. Technically, they still have things like are you allergic to this? Are you allergic to that? Can you go into anaphylactic shock? I think is what they call it. So yeah, so there you go. Unvaccinated people were already barred from visiting restaurants, hairdressers, and cinemas, but will now be expected to stay at home. Well, be expected to stay at home. We all know how that works. Yeah, right. Mr. Schallenberg says, in reality, we have told 1/3 of the population you will not leave your home apart for certain reasons. So basically, others are allowed out and others are not. Yeah, that's not going to fly, Jesse. I guarantee it. It's just not.
No, it's not. They're going to be like, yeah, you should have been like, you know what? Don't get the vaccine. So they'll do the opposite thing.
Yeah, I feel people are using the backwards mind. They say it's a massive reduction in context between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. You see, now you're creating division in people. You're vaccinated. I'm not. Government says police will carry out spot checks at public places. I guarantee you the police are not going to do anything at all. Just like they try to do it here. Austria's health ministry says anyone who violates the lockdown for the unvaccinated could be fined an equivalent of about 500 euros. So while a penalty of 1,400 euros could be incurred for refusing to participate in checks. In other words, I guarantee people are going to buy $20 fake cards. I had one person which was asked for their vaccination card, and they showed a picture, and I said to a good friend actually, and I said, look, I think people are just going to continue. Well, let's put it this way, Jesse. If you were in Austria, which Austria has a history of doing stuff like this, by the way, it's not the first time, right? Would you be okay maybe printing out your own and just saying like, here you go, or getting one like on a said device on like your phone, and it gets sent to you, and then you flash it to them? I mean, what prevents anybody from doing that? People aren't stupid, right? It's not an official document, technically.
Right. It's not an official document.
It's not like an ID. I have an ID that's an official document, and they make it like hologram and make sure, you know what I mean? Like The new California ID, right, is different than others. The passports, they have things to make sure, okay, this is an official document. I know they say it's an official document, but it doesn't look like one. It's paper made. It's like cardboard ready, right? So I don't know what's going on here, Jesse. But I will say this. Okay, I'm gonna bring something up, which is a reason why they're freaking out. Okay, and they probably don't know what to do. Bring up this information because this is important to add a little perspective to not come at them in a bad way. But having said that, this is not the time for people to get so upset that then they create problems for everybody. And that's what I see happening in Austria. And if they brought that here, I guarantee you we're going to have a problem here. So Biden, do not listen to that. Don't think it's a good thing because it's not. I can tell you right now. But here's the current case rates rising sharply in parts of Europe. Austria is the red line. That is a huge spike, Jesse. That is not good. Netherlands is second. UK is third, with Germany right next to it, and Italy at the very, 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 very bottom. So whatever Italy is doing, I say keep it up, right? They're doing something smart. But they're not going to impose these restrictions, I would think. I don't think that it would catch on. I hope it doesn't catch on because there's going to be a lot of protesters and a lot of mad people, as there already is, and there you go. Social media, Maria, let's see, said this. Hundreds of workers at hospitals and nursing homes in northern Ontario are saying no to the COVID vaccine. Yeah, I can see why. Administrators say they cannot force them to get the shot or send them home when they're already short-staffed. You know what, and Maria? That's what we said here on the show. I think as of like a month and a half ago when they were doing this to New York. Not just staff, but also frontline workers like police, firemen, and paramedics. You cannot, during a pandemic, reduce your staff. It makes no sense. So I call out to the government and to the mayors and to the governors out there, do the right thing and keep these people where they are. They do have a choice, okay? People do have a choice of putting what is in your body. I'm not saying I'm because I got the Johnson & Johnson, okay? I made my mom get the Johnson & Johnson, not the Moderna one or the Pfizer one. That was just based on science that I researched. But no judgment to those that might have gotten those. But, keep up with it because if you have more things down the line, you want to know which one you got. And I guarantee you there's going to be people wanting to, call out certain things in the next couple months about that. So, especially with this information is going to push the envelope for people to get through to the reality of what some of these vaccines are causing. Now, having said that, I'm not against vaccinations. Like I said, I got the Johnson & Johnson. My mom got the latest second version of the Johnson & Johnson. I'm just saying, if you have the research and you've done the research and you choose not to, remember you yourself might get sick from coronavirus. So at least wear a face mask, right? If we're worried about what you put in your body, that's one thing. Making it a demand or making it a part of your employment is not good, which I'm glad they're not doing that. But will it get to that level? I feel sometimes the mentality of people are like, okay, we're going to do that. Now we're going to separate all of you and this and that. And it's like, you're going down a slippery slope. And then my question is this. What about those that were vaccinated? How long ago were they vaccinated? Because it only works maximum of 4 to 6 months, period, end of story. It's not, once you get it, it works for a year and a half or 3 years or 8 years. It doesn't work that way. So that's my next question, right? Are you going to monitor that as well? So look, do the right thing. Make social distancing a priority. Make sure to keep things clean, especially in certain cold areas. God, that virus loves to live in cold areas. And make sure that you do the right by the rest of the people. Make sure your government is ready to pick up the tab because I guarantee you, less people working, less business income, less supply of chain, which for some reason certain countries are not giving the right amount of good stuffs which help our economy out, and then some. Plus with rising food prices, the surge in that is way higher than normal. At last I saw it was about 5 to 8% in certain areas. Normal inflation, by the way, don't ever let anybody tell you this is normal inflation. Normal inflation is anywhere from 1 to 3%, maximum 3%. If you account for 3% inflation, you'll usually be fine, especially in investment of your money. But the way we're going at it, inflation is being taken over by certain said companies and places that want to overcompensate. And here's my problem with that. We've lost about 500 million people on this earth, okay? The reality is, when you do that, you have less income for everyone because now you have already less spending, right? Now you have high healthcare costs. You have people that are unfortunately losing their homes because maybe they can't pay for them, or worse yet, maybe somebody didn't plan to die at an early age due to coronavirus, so there's no planning for the rest of the family. There are so many things that are going under the radar for us that people don't understand what kind of stress this causes for everyone on this earth. Now, having said that, if there's food shortages, you would think with 500,000 people less that we would have more food ready to go, right? But no, everybody's paying a considerable amount of money for that. Now, the reality is supermarkets and food places are okay right now. They're not hurting at all. Now, I'm not saying that certain supplies and certain like avocados, for example, or certain bananas or certain other fruit aren't going to go up, because those areas are getting bombarded by earthquakes, by drought, and by other things that we have like the volcanoes in certain areas. But you've got certain fruits going to be at an all-time high, but that doesn't mean like rice, beans, and others should be going up as well, because those are easy to maintain. However, you have a big influx of people taking advantage of the rest of everyone, and that is not okay. That creates problems eventually. And that says, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to pay down my debt, or am I going to get the food for my family, especially for the average American? The average American makes, at least right now, anywhere from 40 to 80,000, okay? That's called, in some cases, some people think it's upper class. It's not. That's called middle class, okay? The lower income people actually make anywhere from 8 to 21,000. Okay, that's average, by the way, for the average U.S. American. Okay, now when you factor those numbers in with what's going on with inflation, well, no wonder people are living on the streets or living at home with others or trying to make ends meet, or, you know, a host of other things. Now you talk about the unemployed. We have a huge unemployment crisis coming up in the next 4 months. And if we continue on this path, we are not going to have people in line with what they need to do for work. Now, I just had this conversation. It was a good conversation, actually, of how, you know, you have so much opportunity. For example, I drive Lyft from time to time. I posted on the thing. If you want to click on it, you want to make an additional amount of money, make $750, have a vehicle, get the app, get your insurance ready to go, and start driving people around. It's instant cash right there and then. Now, having said that, there's Groupon, or not Groupon, there's, what do they call it? Grubhub and other food service industries that actually are doing really good. They're making the money. But how long are we going to go with this before people are finding it difficult to find money in the end, right? And I say, if you have a job, a good job, even if you hate it, keep it, because it's a job, especially if it pays the bills, especially if it's salary. If it's salary, not hourly, and you're able to do that, and it gives you health benefits and then some, keep it, even if you hate it, especially in an environment like this, because you never know what's going to happen. All right, so there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. What do you guys have to say in social media? Let us know. We'll take a quick little break. We'll regroup right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Staff and families at Custom Care Solutions caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit. Get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
Together We Are Strong is a product brand which stands for unity, equality, and protecting voting rights. Shop now at togetherwearestrong.com for t-shirts, hats, and coffee mugs. All voting rights profits are donated to Rock the Vote, an organization on a mission to empowering young voters. Become an activist without saying a word. TogetherWeAreStrong.com. Make a difference in America and the world. Shop online at TogetherWeAreStrong.com. Give the gift that helps drive change. Go visit TogetherWeAreStrong.com.
You've been charged with a crime, And now you're facing the loss of your freedom. Where do you turn to get out of jail or stay out of jail? The law offices of Wallen and Claridge. Call 877-4-NO-JAIL. With over 20 years experience and attorneys who work in your local courts, Wallen and Claridge can make the difference between jail and freedom. When you need help, make one call. Make it to Wallen and Claridge. 877-4-NO-JAIL. The call is free. Will you be?
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with a mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. And in social media, I appreciate your comments. Let's go to some comments in social media, see what people are saying. Let's see. Patricia Sommer says, get the flu vaccine. Also, both flu and COVID are both a serious risk. Now, I will say this. If you get a vaccine, and she also said there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's actually true. And some people don't even use their thinking minds on this, but I will say this. If you put too many vaccines in your body at any one given time, there could be a problem with your biology. Now, I will say if you could space them out anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, you'll be better for it. That will allow your body to acclimate to whatever foreign substance you put into your body. And that's really what it is. At the end of the day, it's a foreign substance being put into your body. Period. End of story. Okay? Now, having said that, do the benefits far outweigh the risks? The answer is, well, that depends. If you are already at high risk, especially like, for example, the flu, there are some people that can get the flu, they're going to get sick from it, but they're not going to die. That's called low risk. Now, those that may get sick from it and may potentially die, that's called at risk. Okay. Now, the difference is obvious. One will get better, the other will not. More than not, usually. So I'll give you a perfect example. My mom gets the flu shot each and every year. She's at risk. Okay. Being at risk creates a problem for her because she has diabetes. Anyone that knows anything about the flu, if you have diabetes, you're already at risk. Now, because of her age, I'm not giving that out, Mom. I know you're forever young. But my point is, obviously, you have to be careful because then you have a situation when it comes to getting sick and eventually pneumonia, flu-like symptoms, and or worse, death in the end, right? Because the body, when you have diabetes, sometimes does not repair itself easily enough. Now, having said that, I always make sure she eats enough good fruit. Papaya, I keep telling her, has good enzymes for the digestive tract, and then some, but sometimes these things, get kind of put by the side and we forget about those things, right? There are certain fruits and or vegetables which will compensate, especially like good grains, good salads, and certain things that will help your body out, okay, eventually, because that's how our body is meant to, actually work on things. It's meant to have things of the earth to help us out eventually, right? So those that are more healthy than not usually have high grain diets, high fruits and vegetables, and some like leafy greens. I'm okay with that, depending on what type of dressing I put on it, right? But my point is, whatever fruit and or vegetable you are drawn to that you like, for example, she loves cauliflower. Cauliflower is actually good for the brain, right? Broccoli is good for the body and actually the lungs, which is odd enough that it looks kind of like a bronchial tube, right? There's a lot of things that we see and we say, wait a minute, what does this remind me of, right? Cashews are also good for portions of the brain, by the way. People don't understand this. I just had a conversation this weekend where somebody's like, oh, cashews are bad. I go, cashews are not bad. They're actually really good for your body, and they can help you out eventually. But my point in saying that is, if you get a vaccination on any one of these things, make sure you space it out. Because God forbid you have a problem in your body later on, and then you have a problem for life, right? So are you at risk or are you in low risk, meaning you can get okay from it eventually, right? That's a situation with the flu, right? That's just the flu, okay? minus coronavirus. So having said that, make sure you take care of yourself when it comes to these things, and make sure if you do get a shot. For example, my mom was going to get the one, and she still has to get that one as well, but I told her put it off because it's not as high risk of a situation than obviously the flu shot and obviously coronavirus. And that's the one for, what's it called for if you get measles so you don't get, I can never remember it when I need to.
You talk about the shingles?
Yeah, the shingles. You don't get the shingles. So they have that vaccination as well. But if you combine all three, I guarantee you your body's going to have a problem. So try to space them out 2 to 3 weeks between shots. I know there's been stories which go, no, it's safe. I say, no, God, that's people just trying to sell something to you guys. And by the way, if you haven't looked at the stock of certain companies, they're significantly high, okay? Because these things aren't made for free, right? They sell them at a premium. If you don't think so, be careful with that information, all right? Let's see. Patricia Salmer says 6-month booster is so much better than a hospital stay. I will say that is true. Again, that is true. I'm not going to be against it 100%. Stephanie says, I'm not against the vaccinations, but against being forced. I agree with that. I am fully vaccinated and got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and I just had a mild reaction and felt fine. Maria says, I reacted to my flu shot last week worse than my second COVID one. Yikes. You see? That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just don't know. Patricia Sommer says, those in charge did a poor job of selling the vaccine and a lot of misinformation, leaving fear and confusion. I will agree with that as well. There is so much misinformation. And that started last, I want to say last April. In last April, there were a lot of problems with things on YouTube, and people were watching things, and certain doctors were like, it's a hoax, it's not even real, oh, it's a propaganda against our president, and once he gets elected or somebody else gets elected, this will be a thing of the past. Still here, 750,000, no longer alive because we all spread false news. Now, I know some people say, well, those numbers were mixed up. Okay, even if you account for a high 8%, maybe, you still have more than 680,000 still left, quite dead, right? Due to coronavirus. So a lot of bad information. Don't believe the bad information. Use your thinking mind on that. Mari says, I worked in COVID vaccine clinical trial sites in USA and Canada. I feel they did an awesome job with all the vaccines they came up with. And I will say Canada's ahead of it for that reason. I don't know what's going on with America and around the world, but Canada is one of those countries I'm like, can we just live there instead of here, right, Jesse? Sometimes I think that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. There are a couple times where I'll be like, something happens, I'll be like, I just want to live somewhere else, please.
But it is cold there. It is cold there.
Well, I'm pretty well insulated, so I think I'll be okay in the cold.
You have a friend in Canada. She's a filmmaker, and we had a quick conversation about a project that we're wanting to work on. And I'll tell you right now, I love the cold, but it's sometimes a little too cold up there. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm okay about this. Maybe I'll move south to Mexico. Who knows? So let's see. Stephanie says, Good Morning the Merrier is back next week on Up TV with fun prizes and coffee for Thanksgiving week. And there you go. And yeah, Patricia says she got the shingles vaccine as well. Yeah, so again, if you have to prioritize COVID, flu, I forget what they call the shingles vaccine, but there you go. So just be careful out there. All right. Having said that, good news in the world of Sesame Street. Yes, that's right. Sesame Street is making history. It's time, and I'm glad they're doing this. They debuted Ji Young, who's the first Asian Muppet. Who knew, right? Let's see. What's in a name? Well, for Ji Young, the newest Muppet resident of Sesame Street, her name is a sign she was meant to live there. Now, according to the comments, here's what they're saying. In Korean, traditionally, the two syllables, they each mean something different. And Ji means like, smart, or wise. And Young means like, brave, or courageous, and strong. Sorry. Ji Young said this during an interview. Got it. I was wondering, like, Ji Young likes to use the word like, right? Kind of like a valley goat. Like, what's up, Jesse? Let's see. Said, we are looking it up. And guess what? Ji also means sesame. What? No way. 7 years old, Ji Young is making history as the first Asian American Muppet in the Sesame Street franchise. She is Korean American, has two passions, rocking out on her electric guitar and skateboarding. The children's TV program, which first aired, get this, 52 years ago. This month, gave the Associated Press a first look at their adorable new occupant. Ji Young will formally be introduced in See us coming together in Sesame Street special. Simu Liu, Padma Lakshmi, and Naomi Osaka are among the celebrities appearing in the special, which will drop this Thanksgiving Day on HBO Max, Sesame Street social media platforms, and on local PBS stations. Now, some of the personality comes from The Puppeteer. Kathleen Kim, who's 41 and Korean American as well, got into puppetry in her 30s. In 2014, she was accepted into a Sesame Street workshop. I'm not going to lie, I've always wanted to do something like that. I can see you doing something like that, Jesse, like a little voice caricature, right?
I could probably do something like that, but I would have to get inside the character and just like I would have to totally do it because if I just like start messing around with the voice, then I'm gonna start laughing and I can't do it again.
Yeah, I think it takes a good 3 to 4 days to figure out the voice of any said character. But there you go. They evolved, or that moment in the Sesame Street workshop for this actress Kathleen Kim evolved into a mentorship and her becoming part of the team the following year. So that was in 2014. So she's been at it for a while. Being a puppeteer on a show Kim watched growing up was a dream come true, but helping shape an original Muppet is a whole other feat. This is what she said. She says, I feel like I have a lot of weight that maybe I'm putting on myself to teach these lessons and to be this representative that I did not have as a kid. Fellow puppeteer Leslie Carrara Rudolph, who performs Abby Kadabi, reminded her, it's not about us. It's about this message. Ji Young's existence is the culmination of a lot of discussions after the events of 2020. George Floyd's death and anti-Asian hate incidents. Like a lot of companies, Sesame Street reflected on how it could meet the moment, according to Kay Wilson Stallings, Executive Vice President of Creative and Production for Sesame Workshop, the nonprofit organization behind Sesame Street. So, good job, Sesame Street, always bringing the world together in a way that makes sense for us because we all live on this planet, right, Bert? All right, that's Ernie. That's not Bert. I always get those two confused. My little ducky, you're the one.
It's been so long since I've seen Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street. My nephew he watches it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Bert always got on my nerves, but Ernie was always the fun-loving.
Exactly. For me, I love Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus. Who doesn't love Snuffleupagus? And those big eyelashes, right? If you have not turned your kids on to Sesame Street, you're missing out because talk about inclusion, talk about getting along with everybody, talking about making things happy and fun, which, by the way, we're out of time. So make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, Sesame Street's where it's at. Have fun with that. We'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same channel. Bye-bye, everyone.